Good day to all my fellow marks out there, and welcome to the wacky and wild world of professional wrestling, the only form of entertainment where the most dominant and menacing faction are dressed in fresh Hanes white t-shirts. Grab yourself a drink and a snack, kick your feet up and relax. You are now listening to the Groupchat Wrestling Podcast.
Hi guys, welcome to episode 33 of the Groupchat Wrestling Podcast. I'm your main host, back from hiatus, Mike GWP, the Scout Shibata, and I'm going to let my co-hosts introduce themselves.
Alright, Sam Andy. I had a fantastic weekend of wrestling there. My missus treated me to some Progress tickets for Valentine's Day. The show was amazing. And in return, I treated her to an Outrunners Valentine's card that said, "Happy Valentine's Day, you son of a bitch." Went down very well.
Awesome, man. Way to string the chords of the heartstrings right there.
Exactly.
I am that ball bro here, and an amazing show Grand Slam Australia was, but I don't know, man. Got a major complaint about the show. We'll dive into it a little later. It just I didn't realize watching it live, but waking up the next morning, it just ruined the entire fucking show for me. Like I will never forgive AEW for this. They will pay for their crimes.
And I'm Wrestling Mark. You can find me on Blue Sky and not on Twitter, even though my account's active, because I'm not going back into that shithole. And just for all you youngsters out there, remember, size doesn't matter. It's what you do in it that counts.
Well said, bro.
So, Brian, Grand Slam, that was a fucking good show, wasn't it?
It was incredible.
What a show. What a run Collision's on, if we're calling it Collision. Great show.
I can't think of it like a better 2 hours of wrestling. Full stop.
I think it's the best for pure quality. It's the best television show I've ever seen in terms of in-ring quality. I think ever. Every match was a minimum 3.5 stars.
I can't think of a 5-match card on any pay-per-view that has been better than that. It was brilliant.
I can't think of a 5-match pay-per-view card I've ever enjoyed. So I'm going to put that out there, because 5-match pay-per-view cards mean you're getting fucking ripped off. 5-match TV shows like that all day, every day. Like, again, it's a 5-match card, but we can still roll out 2 hours of content on just how good it was, because there's so much to get into with every single match. So
the best part about it though was the fact that it was a 5-match card in 2 hours.
Yeah.
Not a 5-match card spread out over 3.5 hours with 40 minutes of shite in between each match.
Well, more than that, because a 5-match AEW 2-hour card is going to have a lot more wrestling on it than a 5-match WWE pay-per-view is going to have, but it's going to be half the time.
And before we crack on with this as well, last week our good friend Sam said, "I don't think they're ever going to come back to Australia anyway." Well, you're wrong. 2026. No, he said he's buzzing. He said he's so glad to be wrong. But yeah, 2026 they're going back. Tony loves ending the show with "We'll see you next year." So no, fucking brilliant.
Good shit, man. I think he started off the night getting booed by the crowd, but like you said, that they're coming back next year in 2026. Hopefully, they learn from a couple of their mistakes, and now they can appropriately prepare for next year. Now they know the size, the arena, the crowd that they can expect, and I expect a better turnout next year. Whether to do a stadium or not next year, I think is irrelevant. I mean, they're expanding their reach globally into a new market. And listen, the first one, you're gonna have a few bumps in the road. One major bump that was on the card, we'll talk about that. But yeah, man, it's a learning experience, and they'll be better for it going forward.
100%. Are we going to address the elephant in the room first?
You know what? Let's save that for after we review the match card. Because let's start on a positive. Let's go one match at a time. So yes, the first match that we started from AEW Grand Slam in Brisbane, Australia. What better way to start than Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay, the new Mega Powers, essentially, versus the Protostar, Kyle Fletcher, and Konosuke Takeshita, the Alpha. My God, like I'm sure we all had expectations for this match, very high expectations, and somehow, some way, they surpassed those expectations. Like, holy crap, you could not have had a better crowd for this match, and I've said on numerous occasions, not just on the show or on TikTok lives or whatever, the world just seems right when Kenny Omega is wrestling on your TV screen. Like I think the wrestling world is better as a whole with him on your screen, and dude, just amazing action back and forth. You know, despite Kyle Fletcher being in front of his home crowd, his home country, his home people, like he got booed generally throughout the entire match. Not one cheer for him, and I think that's a credit for the amazing work that he's done as a heel the past few months. Like they gave him nothing. They gave him. You would think that he was in enemy territory. The reception he was getting, but that's a credit to him. You know, generating that that heel heat that he had for the majority of the night. But I mean, guys, great action, back and forth. Osprey just bouncing, just bumping like his life depended on it from every damn strike here and there. And yeah,
Did you just say that he got booed?
Fletcher.
I could have swore Dave LaGregor was saying he was going to get the fucking biggest cheers in the arena.
He
and
did.
that it was going to destroy. It was going to destroy.
He did say that. Yeah, he said you're going to ruin him. He's going to get the babyface treatment, and him and fucking Nick Nemeth laughing like a fucking idiot on the bottom tier. Also, like,
are you telling me that Dave LaGregor's full of shit?
I think I'm leaning that way. Yeah, I think he.
Oh way!
He's full of shit. Yeah.
Justice for Cody! Fuck off, you prick!
I love, like, right after the show, guys did not waste time, from Osprey to a few others, like, yo, apologize. And to Dave's credit, he said, like, yeah, I was wrong. I guess he'll talk about, I guess, when they do their live show on Tuesday. That's what he said. But, yeah, just way to just put your foot in your fucking mouth. Like,
fucking prick, I hate him. Justice for Cody! Justice for Cody! Justice for Cody! Screaming into a microphone. He's a fucking knobhead.
Like, none of these podcasters like that. That's the thing, that you realise who the majority of the wrestling, the target audience is. You know what I mean? Like, you look at the majority of the podcasters that are high profile, and they're all dickheads. Like, they're all over the top, pandering to a certain IQ, a certain mentality, a certain level of loneliness and isolation and anger at the world, and that's who they pander to. And like the Greco actually sometimes says some not awful stuff, from by all accounts, in considering, but like the way he went on about that, the bit with him and Nick Nemeth was very cringe. It was uncomfortable viewing. They both came across terribly. They came across immature, and just it was pretty pathetic. And yeah, I mean, he's someone that, again, when I hear he says something, my first thought is, I just don't care. I don't care about you. Like, make your money off of naive, vulnerable, young, angry men, and just keep doing you, because he's gonna get more that way. They're all going to go that way. The better the AEW's product is, the more draconian their responses are going to be to it, and the more negative they're going to be, because that's how it always is. JD like sat there, like, after what was an exceptional show, and the first tweet he did was something about comparing it to NXT Vengeance, and no one asked you to do that, bro. Like I haven't watched Vengeance. I won't watch Vengeance. By all accounts, it was meant to be a really good show. Like, that's great. Like, fair dues. But like, what a weird thing to do for that to be your automatic thing. But that's who he is. He's naturally a toxic person. Most of them are naturally toxic people. They can all get in the bin because they've got no credibility. They've got no backbone because they pander to WWE. And they just shouldn't be taken seriously, and they shouldn't have any respect of anyone, because they haven't earned anyone's respect. They're just shills, and they're mercenaries.
100%. It was an amazing show, and anyone anyone even before, anyone who's followed along up, the build of the show wouldn't know that Kyle was going to get booed, because he's, as Brett was saying, he's played his heel work perfectly. Don Callis running the family is a fantastic heel, regardless of what people think of him. He's a heat magnet. It was never going to get cheered there, especially against Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay. It was just stupid, and it was a stupid thing to even go with in the first place.
But enough of that. Let's talk about the ending of the match. Let's talk about
the match was amazing. The finish was amazing.
Let's talk about the finish. Like, we've seen like combination finishing moves before, but this one might top them all. Omega gets Takeshita up for the one-winged angel, and in the background, you see Ospreay climbing to the top rope, and it was fucking perfect timing. On the way down, Ospreay hits the hidden blade into the one-winged angel. 1, 2, 3. Omega and Ospreay win. Crowd goes into a fucking frenzy. Like, Andy, you ever see, like, what was your thoughts on that combination finisher right there?
It felt perfect. It felt like a ready-made tag team finisher. It felt like like the old Legion of Doom. Fucking what's it called? The
Doomsday Device.
Yeah, it just felt like a proper tag team finisher. It was brilliant. It didn't even feel like it was, merged together with their own moves. It just felt like its own thing. It was really well done. I can't. Hopefully, we see that a fair bit more. Before they eventually go to separate ways.
And I don't ever want to. The only person I want to see kick out of that is I want to see Truth Magnum kick out at 1 from it and Hulk up afterwards. That's the only time I ever want to see anyone kicking out of that move.
Only
Truth Magnum straight up, smashes them both down, couple of leg drops, foot on 1, 1, 2, 3. That's the only way only one should ever kick out of that move. It looked deadly. It looked fucking brilliant. It genuinely
really
looked.
Did.
It was. I mean, that's what happens when you genuinely put two of the greatest wrestlers already, two of the greatest in-ring wrestlers of all time. Without a doubt, they are. When you put them together with two really good-looking finishers and you merge them, and that's what you get. Look, Brett, what you said before, you said about how the match exceeded your expectations. It didn't exceed my expectations because I thought it would be this good. I just thought this match is just perfect. The styles are going to mesh. It's just going to be pure action from the off. There's going to be so many memorable moments. There won't be a dull minute. And it was honestly, it was brilliant. It was so good. It's again, this goes up there. This ranks right alongside the Bucks and Luchas at All Out 2021 for me. As if I'm going to show like a non-wrestling fan a tag match, what's it going to be? It's going to be one of those two. It's up there. It was that good.
Not Hangman Omega and the Bucks.
That's up there as well. Yeah, the thing is, because that's so storied, that match goes very long. And I do think that for like new fans, that match, if you haven't got the emotional investment, if you're looking at it just from a standpoint of the actual match itself, the chaos that ensues in that match as to why you love pro wrestling, that's why I put these two ahead of that, because that one, there's so much emotional involvement. But if you've not seen the build up to it and don't know what it all means, the match itself is still fucking amazing. It's still a 5-star match. But because it goes probably about 10, 15 minutes longer than either of the other two, I don't think it would grip people to the same extent as this. Like, it wasn't just a spot fest. It was just brilliant wrestling for, I mean, I don't even know how long it went on for, just over 20 minutes, 21 minutes maybe. It was, honestly, so good.
Yeah, they got enough time. Let me ask you guys real quick before we go to the next match. What tag team finisher do you like? Tag team finisher do you prefer? Like the one-winged angel to the hidden blade, or the buckshot lariat to the V trigger?
Oh, that's a tough one, man.
Buckshot trigger.
I think the buckshot to the V trigger looks. I think it's more devastating because like you got Hangman bolting over full speed, like hitting with the lariat, and then Omega, like I said, right behind, bam, V trigger, and dude, when they hit that at the same time against, I think it was against Matt. That shit looked fucking deadly. I mean, don't get me wrong, so did the hidden blade into the one-winged angel, but I kind of love that, even though Omega was involved in both matches, that he's now used two different tag team finishers in each match, and that just tells you the extent of the genius that Omega is. Like he didn't want to do anything like similar to a copy and paste. Like it's fresh, it's something new that we've never thought we would ever see. But yeah, I might lean buckshot and V trigger.
I think I agree with you. It's close though. It's the two of them are just fantastic. I'm hoping, like I say, we're going to see this hidden blade, one-winged angel combination a lot more going forward.
What are we calling it? What's the name for it? One-bladed angel, hidden angel. What are we calling it?
One-winged blade.
One-winged blade. I'm trying to think. I saw someone put something. I was like, yes, that's it. And I can't remember what one it was. It must be one of the ones we said. There's only so many combinations.
The one blade angel.
What was it? The hidden angel. I think I've seen. Yeah, I've seen people calling it a hidden angel.
Well, we'll find out on Wednesday. Hopefully, they give us a name for it.
Yeah.
Or they can just make something up. Just let Nigel make something up.
Yeah. Well, have you mentioned him? Shout out to his commentary at the weekend. I thought he
amazing.
Was so good. There were a couple references that maybe like American fans wouldn't have got, But like Nigel McGuinness's commentary, like his the natural ability he has to ease in like very, very genuinely comical references without it being like really forced, like other people have done over the years, is an art form. He was so good at the weekend. Did he mention something about lower league football in England? Do I remember rightly? I can't remember what it was now.
He did. He's the closest thing to Bobby Heenan in the way he's just just seamlessly delivering these puns, and a lot of them just don't get recognised by anyone, and you're just sitting there laughing on your own. But he's brilliant. He's so good. I mean, the Usher one had me in bits. It was just fucking so stupid.
That was the best one. That was so good.
And Luther comes down dressed as an Usher, and he goes, Tony's like, "Yep, oh look, it's Luther. He's dressed as an Usher," and he goes, "Well, I'm not a great R&B fan, but he doesn't look much like him to me, Tony."
Fucking brilliant. That must have been preempted beforehand between them. You can if you're that quick-witted, I suppose he does stand up. No, he does magic, doesn't he? But he's obviously just so quick-witted to come out with that. It was fucking brilliant. So shout out to Nigel McGuinness. The best in the business, the best
really
colour com by quite a distance. And yeah, again, he's up there pushing Bobby Heenan. I was a big Jesse Ventura fan as well. I thought he was well ahead of his time. But yeah, so kudos to him. He added to a very, very good show. Should we skip on to the second match then? Which again I thought was really enjoyable. The best match of young Harley Cameron's career, and inevitably the woman who's not lost for 2 years retained against the woman who's won one match in her entire fucking career. So there's a shock and something for people to fake outrage about.
The fake fucking outrage, like you just said, Mark, it is ridiculous. Like you said, common fucking sense. You're as much as we all love Harley, like she has grown.
She's great.
She has gotten over organically. She has not been forced down our throats like anything. She has shown her talents outside of the ring, from her singing, her rapping, her ventriloquism, her fucking guitar playing. All this, I mean, awesome vignettes with her, just naturally funny. Nothing, like I said, nothing forced. But like you said, one win in her fucking singles career, and people were upset that she lost. Like, oh, she's buried. Oh, Mercedes got another one. She buried. It's fucking literally. Let me tell you something. The Mercedes hate is void of any logic or fucking common sense. It really is, in my opinion. Like it's just
stupid, man.
It really is. Like I see the shit on a daily basis, and I'm not even gonna bother like asking someone to make any sense of it, because they're not. There's nothing. It's just a fucking headache every time I see. But yeah, you want Mercedes, who's had that TBS belt for over 200 days, has not lost a match in AEW yet. You're gonna drop the belt to Harley Cameron, who's won one match on a collision against Taya Valkyrie.
It's just fucking madness, mate. It makes none of it makes any sense, and this all got pushed by a lot of the podcasters on that, leading up to it as well, to stoke this. Oh, she has to win. Why? That was never a good idea. You had Dave Meltzer comparing it to fucking Ricky Steamboat. Oh, it could be like Flair Steamboat. Do you think Steamboat was expected? What? Steamboat was in a far better position than having won one match and been on TV. Essentially getting over for things other than wrestling. It was stupid. Like, and if they had done that, and if she had won, they would have been criticised so much more for just, essentially, you just said there, Brett, that she wasn't being forced down our throats. She would have been. It would have felt like that if they'd stuck the title on her and started parading her around like that after having one win. And as much as she's improved and as much as we all love her, isn't at the level of anyone who has held that belt.
Let me ask you this.
Like, close to Jade, actually, but
yeah. Well, let me ask you this. Like, I don't normally like talking about money and finances in wrestling, but for the sake of this argument, let me ask you this: where is the most money to be made? Is it in putting the belt on her in a moment in her hometown, or booking a proper chase, a long-term story chase that tracks the growth and development of Harley Cameron?
Again, I don't want to jump in and go too hard on wrestling fans on the whole here, and I'll blame it. I'll go back to the many Vinceisms that have affected the industry long term. In that, People are impatient. A lot of people don't like, they will find it easy to moan and they want a quick finish. They don't want to enjoy the journey. I mean, you look at the Full Gear 2021 main event and the 2 years we had and how just beautiful and how wonderful it was. People are impatient. People want results right now. We did that with Private Party with a 2-week build, and it fell flat, and it killed their momentum. Yeah. It went tits up, and it was. I don't blame that. I mean, maybe they could have done a bit more with the opportunities they did have, but again, they won the titles and then felt that it was very much put on the back burner, the tag titles, and they were in a lose position, in my opinion, because it was hot shotted onto them. They didn't even give it like 2 months to build it up to make us want it. Like, look, they've been in since 2019. This is a 5-year build. That's not a 5-year build. They went from not being significant at all to tag champs in under a month, which isn't good. And it was a nice little moment, but it was literally that one moment. Now, like a short title reign for Hardy Cameron here could derail her entire career, because like, what do you do after that? You've won the title, you've had a great moment in Australia, you then drop it back to Mercedes at Revolution, because that's inevitably what would have happened. And then what do you do? Then she's had a little title run. The win's taken out of her sails a bit. She's had the big shock win. It didn't make sense. Like, there's so much to do with her. She's going to be on TV most weeks. She might not be wrestling most weeks. She's going to keep improving. She's improved notably in the last 12 months in the ring. Like such an obvious improvement, literally match on match. Like this time next year, she could be someone that could say, you know what, she can get in the ring and hold her own with a Toni Storm, with a Stat, with a Mariah May, etc. She's not there yet. This was the right decision. Everything was perfect about this. It was the longest match of her AEW career by quite a distance. It went about 13.5 minutes. I don't think she'd ever gone past 10 before that. She put on a great showing. There was a really good comedy moment or two. Mercedes sold well for her. Mercedes looked $1 million. Mercedes always looks $1 million. It ticked every box it needed to, and it was a good match. It's Mercedes. It's always going to be a good match. But there's nothing for me but boxes being ticked with what happened here.
I don't know what more people would have expected from it, to be honest. Mercedes helped her to carried might sound harsh, but she essentially did. She helped her to the best match of her career, and the only way is up for her from here. You know, the idea that I wish we had the rankings. The idea that you could watch her slowly now start to climb rankings and pick up the odd win here and there. She shouldn't go on a winning streak, but she should still lose, but she could still put together a good group of wins. Maybe get into a meaningful feud with somebody and pick up a win over a series of matches. This puts her in a great position at the moment, and as you say, I think giving her the title would have put her in a far worse position. This is the ideal way forward for her and for Mercedes to move on to someone who's actually going to be a credible threat. Because let's be honest, she was never a credible threat. As much as we all love what she's doing, and as great as she is on TV, she's not on the level of any of these. She really isn't. You
carry on. I'll jump in afterwards.
Well, I was just going to say that and this will upset a certain person, but it would be the equivalent of Brandon Cutler suddenly picking up 2 wins. Well, he did actually got a win on Ring of Honor the other week. It would be the equivalent of now Brandon Cutler all of a sudden being forced into the TNT title picture, and people saying he should win. He should go over because he shouldn't. He shouldn't. Sorry, by the way, because I know that will upset somebody.
Lucy, that statement is not representative of the Group Chat Wrestling Podcast. That's all Andy right there. We don't co-sign that one bit.
And it's a bad example. It's a bad example anyway, because the TNT title is pretty shit at the moment. In terms of its level and its value. Whereas the TBS title sometimes feels far more important than the women's world title. Which is a fucking problem in itself, but that's another issue.
But again, that's the issue with having someone as big of a superstar as Mercedes holding the belt, which again is great. But as we were saying before, Mercedes has not lost a wrestling match since, I think, was it when she lost to Willow when she broke her ankle? Yeah. That's the last wrestling match she's lost. Since the 31st of July, Hardy Cameron has lost to Nyla Rose, Aminata, Britt Baker, Willow, Jamie Hayter, Hikaru Shida, Aminata again, Anna Jay, Chris Statlander, Kylie Ray, Mina Shirakawa, Thunder Rosa, Toni Storm, Willow again, Trisha Dora, Mariah May, Julia Hart, and then suddenly you want to put the title on her because she's beaten Taya Valkyrie and then a couple of wins on Jericho's Cruise. It doesn't make sense. It makes no sense. It's the right decision. You're a fool if you think not. It would have been a nice moment and no more. There's too much with Hardy Cameron to waste. And it will just be a bit of we're expecting that Mercedes will probably drop the TBS title to Athena down the line. So it would have made no sense. It would have been a cheap pop. And again, learning from Private Party, don't do that again.
But it was great though as well. I mean, like you said, the match did what it was supposed to. But God, we got some credit to the camera team. We got some fantastic shots. That
Honestly,
shot of her,
so good.
that shot of her just coming over, rising up on the side of the ring with the puppet and her. God, that was genius. That was so good.
So good.
And at least to me, like there was no point in the match where I didn't think that she didn't she didn't belong. Like there was no like awkward matching. I mean, awkward point in the match where maybe did she miss her spot or miss her timing or anything like that. No, I think she looked comfortable in there. But that's it. Listen, that's also a testament to being in the ring with Mercedes. Like anyone who thinks that she doesn't elevate anyone, then you don't know game. You don't know ball. I don't know what to tell you, man. You get out of your own head with whatever you think personal gripes you have with her. Like, are you a WWE fan who's just mad that she's found success outside of the WWE bubble? She betted on herself, and whether you like her or not, she's come out successful. She's making. I think Andy, you said earlier, she's what, making the most money out of any female in the wrestling industry right now. She's in a top prominent position in the second biggest wrestling promotion in the world right now. She's winning, whether you like her or not.
Mm-hmm.
And why would Tony not want her to keep this belt? Like, people are saying she's had it too long. She hasn't had it too long at all, because she's arguably the best women's wrestler in the world, or at least one of the best women's wrestlers in the world. So she shouldn't be losing anyway, randomly a lot. There needs to be a reason for her to lose and an actual valuable story coming out of it. But at the end of the day,
especially not to someone who only won one fucking match on Collision.
Exactly. But like, why? If you're Tony, why would you not want to hold in this belt for as long as possible? Because she takes it everywhere. She goes to a sports game, a baseball game, whatever. She's got the belt with her. She's doing the red carpet for a movie or a fucking TV show, whatever. She's got the belt with her. She does a talk show or a podcast. She's got the belt with her. She takes that fucking belt everywhere, and I don't see anyone else doing that.
I mean, she has name recognition, so of course she's going to take it everywhere with her. I mean, to his credit, MJF did the same when he was the heavyweight champion as well. I think even Swerve also, but I mean, respect to both of them.
But Swerve did a lot, actually. I'll give you that. Yeah, he was another one who really pushed that wherever he was. He made sure that belt was visible.
Yeah, and like I said, whether you like her or not, she has name recognition. Remember, she had those appearances, those cameos in The Mandalorian, so she has a bit of mainstream appeal. I mean, Snoop Dogg, I think she's related cousins or whatever. I mean, listen, she's wrestled at WrestleMania. She's been at the top, the mountaintop of that promotion. So yeah, she has name value. She's recognizable. So yeah, she takes that belt everywhere. You're gonna know who she is, whether you like her or not. So you may not like her, but Tony is absolutely doing the right thing, keeping the belt on her for as long as possible.
And before we move on from this match, when do people suddenly get this idea that the only way to elevate somebody is for them to win a belt? Because I've seen so many wrestlers elevated by losing and just being in the ring with somebody or just being in a program with somebody over the years. This is just madness.
Can I give you a perfect example?
Go for it.
Remember Undertaker versus Jeff Hardy, ladder match for the WWE Championship? Jeff lost, but guess what? Was he buried? No, he got fucking elevated. He elevated in that match. Look at my God, Daniel Bryan and his chase up to WrestleMania 30. How many times did he lose championship matches? No, but the crowd was behind him. They loved him. They stood behind him through his entire journey. I mean, that's the thing. It's like I don't know. A lot of fans, they're institutionalized thinking that there's one way to get over. There's one way to put over a wrestler. Like the belt does not make the wrestler. The wrestler makes the belt. Like you said, with the TNT title right now with Daniel Garcia, it's not hitting because he's not really doing anything to elevate that belt. The
100%.
Belt does not have magic powers where it's going to make you over with everyone and everything you do is going to be golden. That's not how it works. So yeah, I mean, like you said, there's more than one way to get over. That's why what the follow up is now going forward for Harley is going to be more than anything than if she would have won this past Saturday. It's all in the follow up, and
also it's all down to Tony now.
Yeah,
he needs to make sure he has something going, because a good example I see of this in midweek was when people were I can't remember where I seen someone was whinging about one of Jericho's feuds and Action Andretti. And the thing is, Action Andretti, when he won that match, that was a massive moment. It's just that they did fuck all with him the next couple of weeks afterwards.
Yeah.
And like, so now Tony needs to, like, literally on Wednesday, they need to jump on this and have something coming out of this for Harley to get her teeth stuck into. Whether it's another feud or you know, whether she's going to still go after Mercedes. Hopefully not. Hopefully she moves on. But whether it's another feud that she can actually get some mileage out of, just do it. Don't just put it on the back burner and let us forget about it for a couple of weeks and then bring it back when it's died down. He needs to jump on this now.
Absolutely, 100%. All right, so correct me if I'm wrong. I believe the next match was the Brisbane Brawl street fight between the Death Riders, Mox and Claudio versus Cope and Jay White. And before we talk about the match, we have to talk about Copeland's entrance. And I don't care if you're a fan of AEW or not. If you did not feel anything from that Australian crowd singing word for word, hook for hook, line for line, Metalingus, like from start to finish, like that was it's just another instance of international crowd putting us, spoiled Americans here to shame. And it really is, because like
you said
I
it,
can tell
mate.
you right now. No, it's a stone cold fact. I mean, listen, obviously I've been to England now, 2 years in a row. Just the chanting, the vibes, and everything. You guys kick our ass, like as far as crowd engagement goes. That's an undisputed fact. But I mean, you see the look on Copeland's face, like he's taking it all in. I mean, because hey, you never know with his advanced age and his career, that could literally be the last time he does wrestle in Australia, even though it's already decided they're coming back next year. But I mean, he's taking it all in. He's hyped, ready to go, and that was just a beautiful, 2 minutes, his entire entrance. So Brisbane did well out there.
It was so good that they used an old WWE theme tune for him.
Oh my fucking god!
I couldn't believe it when people were saying that. Fuck, even Alter Bridge themselves retweeted it and said, "Oh, this is amazing." And you've got people out there going, "Oh, people only knew it because it's a WWE theme tune."
I'm sure they'll say the same about Cult of Personality as well. Living Colour, no. The song CM Punk. No,
it was old. Jim Johnson wrote it when he wrote Real American.
It was a great, again. It was just a great moment. It was a really touching moment. It takes a lot for me. I'm quite up myself when it comes to being emotional and stuff. I don't like it. I'm not that kind of person. But this was a beautiful moment. His facial expressions told it all. The fair dues, they know all the lyrics to that song, because I've listened to that song 1,000 times and don't know the lyrics. So it's testament that so many people knew that song so well. So it was it was better than the match. It was a great moment, and then he kind of surprisingly lost, I suppose. There was a bit of a, I don't know, didn't expect that ending anyway.
Yeah, same. It's got me a little bit kind of conflicted with where I think it's going to go now, because I really expected him to win that. I expected that to be the win, and then the Revolution one to be getting, stomped in the face or something. But with this now Revolution, I'm kind of like, oh shit, he's not going to win, is he?
I don't think that Moxley's leaving Revolution as world champion now. I don't think Edge is either. I don't think Copeland is either. But I think that I just think it was just, I don't know. How long can Christian hold on to this fucking this notepad for? And I don't know. It just feels that maybe, I don't know. It is weird that on a show that was so well received and so good, that the least significant and the least interesting thing again revolved around the world title.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
No, it did. Yeah, it did. Anyway, on a positive note from that match, the dive that Cope made seems to signify that he's not worried about his ankle.
Yeah,
there's no worries there. He was going fully out again, wasn't he?
Yeah, I do think, and I do want their match at Revolution to have a stipulation, because I'm being honest, I do worry about that match being a basic one-on-one match with Moxley's run of singles matches lately and Cope's age, considering that before that we're going to have MJF v Hangman Page, Fletcher Ospreay in a cage, worth ricocheting what I'm going to say is a dog collar match, and Fletch, and what's the other one, and Takeshita Omega. God, what a card!
No.
And potentially maybe Statlander and Megan Bain.
Yeah, and again, could there be a rubber match with Tony and Mariah? Mercedes will defend her title. It's Revolution. She's going to defend her title there. I'm sure she will. I think they'll bring Hayter in. They've got 4 weeks to build Jamie Hayter and Mercedes Moné up.
It's 4 weeks.
It's only 3 weeks. No, it's only 3 weeks.
3 Dynamites, 2 collisions.
Oh shit.
Yeah, no, I would hold off. I would hold off on that, but I mean, yeah, she'll probably. Well, no. Well, remember after the Mercedes and Harley match, she had that interaction with Momo. Momo Watanabe. So you might get that match at Revolution.
There's 3 of each. Revolution on Sunday, so we've got a collision the night before as well. So we've got 12 hours of TV still.
I really don't want, like, sorry to go off topic here. It's not like I ever do this, but I really don't want Statlander Megan Bain yet. I think that's far too early for that because Statlander's going to have to lose, and she's lost a fair bit of late. So I'd rather see her in a different feud for a while. But yeah, that's something for another day.
I think that's where they're going now. And man, just think of this streak. Like if you want to show how dominant Megan Bain is, just imagine lining up these 3 in front of her. First, you get Statlander, then Willow, then Jamie Hayter. Imagine she just runs through all 3 of them. That'd be.
The problem is that, like I say, Statlander's coming off a good couple of losses there, and she really needs some. I mean, it's about balancing these guys, isn't it, to keep them in a credible position? Because that's where we end up with situations where we randomly get Anna Jay having 3 matches against the women's world champion in a row.
Yeah,
because everybody else is kind of in this kind of rotating in and out of having taken a couple of losses, going back, coming back in, take another loss, or maybe go close, go back out, and come back in. And I think, that's another discussion. But basically, until they get more time, I don't think we're ever going to see a solution to this, because you can't build up the next challenger well enough with them not having any matches, or maybe just coming in for one show and being, I want a shot at the title. Okay, let's go.
I agree with the Statlander stuff. Looking at the record, I mean, her win-loss is still obviously massively in favour, but she doesn't win the big ones anymore. Lost twice to Mercedes, didn't win the Casino Gauntlet. So I do feel that she's one of the aces of the division. She's one of the main event women, like on that level with Mercedes, with Mariah, Tony. Like they're the ones that are right up there. So there's only so many defeats that I think that she should take, to be perfectly honest.
And that's what. Sorry, mate. Go on.
That's Megan obviously needs to win. She needs to come in. She looks like a star. She's being presented like a star. She needs to go on like a rip-roaring run. The only way that I mean, I don't know. I think the match will happen, and I think Statlander will lose. But again, it's just Statlander's losing a bit too much for my liking. But I think that's what's going to happen.
Megan Bain can't lose because, like, they made the mistake. They made a mistake with Camille, and regardless of what people think about Camille in ring, or the fact that she suffered an injury, was making a film, and suffered some kind of brain disease issue. After all this, the bottom line is making her lose to Statlander so quickly was just fucking stupid, and it killed any fucking illusion that we had of her being a fucking monster. And it wasn't even a really long match or anything. It was a fairly easy match for Statlander. So, there wasn't any real spots where you thought she was going to lose it. So that killed any illusion of her being a monster. And then the other stuff happened, the injury, making a movie, and the fact that she's revealed herself to be a fucking moron. But so they have to avoid that. So Megan Bain has to win. But at the same time, you've got people suggesting, oh, who should Tony's next opponent be? What about Statlander? Well, you can't put Statlander in that side, because how can Statlander logically go from losing, match after match and losing against, the mid-card title, supposed to be, in air quotes, and then suddenly be the number one contender? It would be stupid, and it would be the same as when Anna Jay suddenly got 3 matches, or 1 week randomly Thunder Rosa was given a title shot. It's really hard to build around this and get some logical storytelling going when you've got 1 match a week on Dynamite and 2 at best on Collision. I just don't know how they can remedy it, because otherwise we're going to be in this situation where the only real time we see is on those main matches and nothing else below that, setting up the next one. Anyway, sorry for rambling a bit there, but yeah, it's just something that really frustrates me about the booking of the women's division.
There's so many women, like, again, I'll be banging this drum all the fucking time, but there's so many women I want to see on TV everywhere. I want to see Tony, I want to see Mariah, I want to see Mercedes, I want to see Stat, I want to see Willow, I want to see Penelope Ford a lot more. I want to see Harley Cameron every single week now. I want to see Athena as soon as she comes up on TV every single fucking week. The division is so good. Like, it needs more airtime. It needs they've got to figure something out. I Shockwaves, whatever, bring it on. Like, I now regret not supporting Rampage more, because maybe if more people watch that would still be around, because we need more TV with this division, because it's not getting the airtime it deserves, and it's pretty shit.
It's not, and if it doesn't get the time it deserves, and they don't get the reps they need and the exposure they need or deserve, you do wonder whether some of these women are going to look at the contract situation
100%,
and look at the fact that, you know, despite us mainly thinking that NXT is shite, they do give a lot of exposure to the women.
Yeah, a lot of it's by proxy, because the men's division is so goddamn awful in NXT. But they, again, every single time I look at that card, like, it's at least as many women's, if not more women's matches than men's, like, every single week now, and that appeals to you more. You see Julia, you've seen Stephanie go there, and like, they've both got gold now, and they are both outstanding in-ring wrestlers. And so I wouldn't blame women if they were started thinking, well, if I'm going to get 2 matches a month, I can go over there and be on TV every week and probably earn the same money, and then there's a path to the main roster there. You can't blame people, like, apart from the fact that they're an abhorrent company who are basically in bed with Donald Trump and promoting the fact they are now, excluding all those things, and they're sex traffickers, and they're just generally unpleasant people. For a career path, I kind of understand it if they don't sort things out soon, because this has been an ongoing issue for 5 years now, and it's not been remedied. Albeit, again, I think it's 4 of the last 5 or 6 shows have had 2 women's matches on it. So if we keep that up, that is progress. But we had this false dawn last summer when there were a few shows in a row that had a couple of matches, and then it reverted back to type. And what the Revolution card says, again, if there ends up being just 1 match on there, that's a shit show.
I'm hoping on Wednesday we see that Mariah wants a rematch, and I want my fancy booking idea based on Mariah's bad acting or hamming it up or whatever it was. I don't want Megan Bayne in a match in Revolution. I want Mariah, Tony, and I want Megan Bayne to come out and destroy Tony and Luther, and Mariah to pick up the win that way. And then I want to see the evolution of Megan Bayne into Vader 2.0 and have her just destroy everybody. And then, you know, eventually down the line end up with the title, and, you know, whoever the babyface is playing the 93 Ric Flair role is going to be made coming into that if they went that way.
They could remedy the relatively botched MJF and Wardlow situation there with Mariah and Megan Bayne down the line. And then hopefully Megan Bayne actually can do something. Unlike, I mean, I actually quite like Wardlow, but in small doses. But yeah, hopefully they can actually execute that well this time and have that feel-good moment when the turn happens and there's a satisfying outcome. Because we didn't get that.
Definitely. That's what I'd like to see anyway at the next pay-per-view, rather than Megan Bayne Statlander just for the sake of it, because again, that's what it would feel like. Again, unless you're going to bury Statlander, she's going to go away for a while and then maybe come back as an actual fully face, you know, character, rather than this shite that we had where she was just like, oh yeah, I'm good now. You know, maybe she's going to go away and maybe change a character up a little bit or something. I don't know, or go away and Megan Bayne destroys Willow down the line and she comes out to make the save to try and, you know, fix the situation there. I know there's a few things they could do, but I wouldn't jump straight into a Statlander Megan Bayne match unless there is a reason like that, like maybe she is going to take some time out or something.
Anyway, Megan Bayne when we were in the middle of talking about the Brisbane Brawl, but we managed to take a few diversions there.
I think that says more about the Brisbane Brawl, to be honest.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad match. It was just like when a match has got Claudio in it, when a match has got Jay White in it, when there's no rules, it's got the world champion in it. I just expected more, but that seems to be the recurring theme when it comes to things with the Death Riders. Not necessarily bad. I just expected a bit more.
Well, another deviation. Wednesday, Orange Cassidy's back. Please be wearing that leather jacket when you come out, mate. Oh, no, not yet, actually. Please have the leather jacket ready, because he's not going in. He's not going to be beating Takeshita, is he? Even if he beats Roddy Strong.
Why the fuck why have they done this? I don't
know. It's weird. It's because basically they've agreed, haven't they? They've given Kenny the match against Takeshita, but then for some bizarre reason, they've already agreed a qualifier for somebody to get a match against Takeshita in the meantime. So
why is it not for the TNT title? Like, why is that not for Garcia? Like, I have no idea. It's very like I hope that I don't have expectations, but I really hope in 2 weeks I'll look back on it and go, that's why they did that instead of just.
I just want I need Orange to lose. I need Orange to lose. I don't care what happens with Roddy Strong, because the Undisputed Kingdom at the moment, they're just treading water of me. Orange losing would just give me hope that we might still get that heel turn down the line. Yeah. Maybe Revolution. Maybe that's what happens. Orange Cassidy comes out and clocks Cope with an orange punch.
Andy, in 2029, you and I are going to be sitting here booking Orange Cassidy turning heel at the end of a pay-per-view to join the Death Riders. We're going to be
retired.
It's going to be 2028, 3 years down the line. It's going to be in full gear 2028, and then Orange Cassidy is going to come out, and then finally Moxley's 6-year run with the title comes to an end. Well, he's going to retire. Yeah,
he's going to retire, and we're going to say it's just a ruse. He's coming out. He's got the leather jacket on. 2050. Let's go.
We encourage each other too much, Andy. We're bad influence on each other. I know. If you validify what I'm saying, like, yeah, that sounds fucking right. It's going to happen then, and then it never happens. Although, as we mentioned before, I did get one thing right in that I predicted on Blue Sky last week that Fletcher v Ospreay would be a cage match, and that match is going to fucking rule. I couldn't think of any other stipulation that they'd throw in there. They haven't had a cage match for a while. AEW have brought the cage match back to meaning something because it was a dead stipulation for years. And then obviously the all out 2021, I'll go back to that. The Bucks Luchas was amazing. The Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus cage match was fucking brilliant as well. They've had another couple. These two in a cage. Like I'm scared what's going to happen when they get on top at one point. I'm genuinely scared.
The idea of Ospreay in a cage match, fucking man, that's sold just on that alone. To be honest.
Oh wait, absolutely so good. And anyway, Brisbane Ball. It was kind of a forgettable, brilliant moment beforehand. Bit of a shit way that it ended. Bit of a worry now what's going to happen at Revolution. And then I suppose we go on to what I thought was the next match was fucking brilliant. I loved it. The one near spoiler I got of the whole show was when I foolishly went on to look at football stuff on Twitter, and I saw something about Buddy Matthews being injured and the match being short. So I went into this thinking it was going to be a 3-minute squash. So I was pleasantly surprised. It went 13.5 minutes, and it was fucking great. Like, honestly, it was such a good match. There wasn't a spare second in this match. They knocked it out of the park from the first second to the last. And if Buddy Matthews was going through that with an injury, which it seems, all credit to him, man. What a soldier, because that was a great performance, and he was landing on that ankle as well a lot.
Yeah, man, great match back and forth, and it was a great showing by Buddy. And kind of like what we said earlier about Harley Cameron, like people were hoping for a Buddy win. Like, no, because here's the thing: we already saw back at World's End that they already teased the eventual matchup between Okada and Omega at All In. So if that's the match you're gonna do, neither man should be eating a pin before All In Texas. So. Okada winning was, absolutely the right choice. And I don't know if you guys did see any video of how Buddy did hurt his ankle. I think it was on his entrance. Like he hopped over the rope and he kind of rolled his ankle a little bit. So hopefully it's nothing too serious. Hopefully just a sprain, nothing too serious. But I think Buddy looked great. And listen, it's been night and day how both he and Brody have been presented on TV, they just come off looking better. I don't know. They look more comfortable. They look like they're more, like I say, more comfortable in their skin. Like they're letting, they're able to talk now. They're able to show some personality. They're not all about the dark, spooky stuff anymore. That was the Malachi thing. Like, no, they're just two big bastards who will beat the hell out of you. And let's see, if he's okay, he falls back into the tag team division with Brody with the Hounds of Hell, and they're good to go from there. I think it was just a great showcase for Buddy, just to remind all the fans of what he's capable of. And he stood toe to toe, one of the best in the world in Okada, and I think he came off looking good.
He's an absolute superstar, isn't he? As I've said before, I think the sky's the limit with Buddy. hopefully his injury is not too bad, and they can push on with whatever plans they have for him because he is an absolute machine. His jacket was quite cool as well. I didn't realise until people made comparisons afterwards that it was the same as the one Rhea had in I think in the Australian show they did.
That's cool. That's
cool.
It
was the exact same design, but with Matthews on instead of Rhea, which was cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Me being slow to the buddy train looks stupid every week.
God, yeah, the early episodes you said he was shite, didn't you?
Yeah. No, I'm fully converted now. I'm on the buddy train.
The minute I saw him, the minute I saw that dude, Mike, I thought this guy's what physique, like what ring, like it was at the Super Showdown show over there in 2018, and I remember thinking this guy is not like WWE style in that he's actually like really good and like has a really good pace, and that was probably why Vince punished him. How dare you be so good? Get down the card. You lose to Tony Nese on the pre-show. Fuck you. I've always loved him, and I'm so happy. Like he again, like. This is just how it's happened, but there's no one that's really left AEW that I've like really been like gutted they've gone. I would have been really pissed off if they lost him. It would have been a real shitter if they lost him. Like Aleister Black had run his course in AEW. Miro had run his course in AEW. Luchas weren't getting used, not missing them. Fuck Punk, etc., etc. Cody makes sense. Everyone on NXT makes sense. Like Buddy going would have been a real kick because like there's so much for this dude to do in AEW still. He suits AEW. Aleister Black's more of a WWE guy than an AEW guy. Buddy Matthews feels more like an AEW guy than a WWE guy. So I'm really
totally agree.
Around, and I think that again eventually, like I'd like to think they're the ones that are going to beat Hurt Syndicate, maybe down the line, Double or Nothing, maybe even later than that. I think that they're going to be your next tag team champions because they fucking rule.
I just hope but sorry mate, I thought you'd finished.
No, as I said, that's how he's not injured. That's it. Nothing else.
Yeah, same. But I just hope that by the time they go back to Australia, he's in a position to be maybe challenging for the international title, or depending on when they do it, maybe the Continental Classic, because the man deserves it. When he signed that contract to 2027, when that came out, I was absolutely buzzing because, like you, he was the one I don't want to lose from my TV entertainment. I'm not running the company. But just from my enjoyment, I would be very sad if he was to leave. Oh, another thing as well, I don't know if I'm right on this. Is he the first person to kick out a Rainmaker?
Yep.
Yes.
In AEW.
Yeah.
That's fucking huge. I think that says a lot about what they think of him and
what Carter thinks of him as well. The fact that Carter that as well. So yeah,
definitely, yeah.
Okada at the end of the night, he got interviewed. He asked him about what he thought of Bunny. He's like, "Yeah, you got my respect, but you're still a bitch."
It's fucking great.
But real quick, before we move on, like we gotta talk about Okada's entrance though. That damn laser light, the laser lighting, that the circle around him, like that should look cool.
I'm still waiting for whatever pay-per-view they're going to use the color change and fucking heat thing on, because we haven't had that yet in AEW, have we?
All in.
I don't think so.
No, we didn't have it all in, did we? Oh, you think they're going to use it all in?
Yeah, I think they'll use it all in.
Possibly, yeah. What is it? Just a heat thing, is it, or something? Or is it lasers or something? What puts the color into his robe?
I think it's heat.
Yeah.
Just a quick while we are talking about the all-in match. Am I the only one, and tell me if I am I the only one that hopes the Continental Championship isn't involved? Because that match, Omega Okada, should not have a 20-minute time limit.
Do you know what?
It shouldn't be for the fourth major main title either. Yeah.
Usually when you say, "Am I the only one?" Tell me if I'm the only one. You are.
You are usually the only one.
But no, not on this occasion. You are absolutely fucking bang on. No, I do not want 20 minutes of fucking Okada, Omega. I want this to go fucking 40 minutes.
42 minutes, 28 seconds.
Well, here's the thing. So we have Omega and Takeshita at Revolution for the international title. So I think one of the guys that shout out to my boy Light Skin Guy when we did a post show review on Grand Slam. He suggested Omega and Okada. Omega will be the international champion. Okada will be the continental champion. a unification. It could be a unification match for those two titles. So technically, you're not fighting under continental title rules. And then guess what? It's a unification match. The winner will be the AEW Intercontinental Champion. And that would be so fucking awesome because I think we all know so many WWE fans will be pissing down their leg, like just how pissed off they would be. But I mean, they'll also forget that New Japan had an Intercontinental title as well. It's never been exclusive to WWE, so I say fuck it. Do a title for title unification match to crown the very first AEW Intercontinental title
I mean,
Intercontinental Champion.
I don't want to see the word intercontinental. That is just like it's the most gorgeous title I think ever. I love it, the original one, not the crap they got now. But I don't want to see that title. That just feels, I don't know. I just think Okada Omega does not need a title. It's the kind of match. It's like Rock Hogan back in the day. Like some matches do not need a shiny gold prop to signify the magnitude of them. So I'm very happy that I mean, I kind of think Omega will beat Takeshita. That's the thing. But I just want this to be a one-on-one, 42 minutes, 28 seconds, proper graps, 15 minutes slow burn, and then 25, 30 minutes of carnage. I'm no for the props for this one personally.
Based on history, like I don't want to merge mainly because I'm I really. It wrecks me head. It should not be a fucking belt in the first place. It should not be anything to do with that tournament. I would rather see it retired or whoever holds it refuse to defend it for a year or something, because like it shouldn't be that. But and merging, what will that do with the content? Unless if they've got a good kind of explanation of it, then fair enough. But it's just going to be weird, isn't it? Because if you think of it based on past experience, when that title and another title are defended at the same time. It's that stupid, the first 20 minutes include that title. But after that, it's only the one title. Because if you remember, I think, was it Bryan Danielson, Okada?
Yeah, it was Danielson and Okada.
Yeah, the first 20 minutes is the Continental. But if after that, the Continental's no longer included, and it's just like, why? It's stupid. Get rid of it.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, if it's a unification match, then you throw that stipulation out the window. And listen, here's the thing. Like I said earlier, if the match is going to be Okada and Omega for All In, they're not losing before that match. So whether you like it or not, each one of them is going to have a belt or not. I mean, they're both going to have belts leading up to that match. So are they both gonna? Is Tony gonna come up with a way where it's just a straight up one-on-one match with neither belt? Being defended, because like you said, the Continental Belt Championship should have never been a thing in the first place. It should have just been a trophy. It should have been a trophy in the first place. Like, I understand you don't want props or belts involved in the match, but guess what? It would solve one problem right there. The Continental Belt, it's one less belt off off the screen, the one that should have never existed in the first place. So like I said, I don't know how you book, in a sense, like if they both come in with their respective titles, I don't know how you have a match that neither belt is up for grabs, in a sense.
I don't know how they get what they do with it. To be honest, it's going to be interesting to see, because, like you say, none of them are losing, so they're going to be in the same situation. Like Kenny Omega's beaten Takeshita, he has to. Takeshita beat him pinned him twice previously, didn't he? One after the other. Before his injury. So, and I would imagine this was what they wanted to go to at the time, which was Kenny picking up the win. Yeah, we know how Tony likes to stick to the landing as long as it takes. So yeah.
The international title feels so much more important than the TNT title now, doesn't it? Like the lineage of it feels a lot more. Like, I mean, I know the TNT's headline one pay-per-view, but the international title feels that if you did have a brand split, you could have that as the main title on one of your two shows quite comfortably, and it wouldn't feel forced. Like if you had like the US title or the Intercontinental title on SmackDown, that'd feel a bit no. But with this title now, like again, Takeshita V, like again, you can see Omega holding the international title. You can never see him holding the TNT title.
It's shit, because the TNT title since Daniel Garcia won it has just been dog shit. It should be defended every week. It's a TV title. It's just bizarre the way it's been. Handled, really?
Do you flip the if Omega wins at Revolution? I mean, not if, he will win. do you flip the responsibilities of the belt? Do you make the international title kind of like the open challenge belt that we would hope the TNT title was?
I don't think so. I think you keep it the international title, but that will then give us an opportunity to see Kenny Omega go and wrestle in CMLL and maybe go and wrestle some more matches in New Japan and defend that belt, which I'd imagine that's what he wants to do, because he's probably been watching everybody else do all this over the last fucking 18 months while he's been out of action. You know, watching all the guys go and knocking out the park at CMLL.
I've never seen a title fluctuate like the TNT title has with its history. Like, it started off shit hot. Oh, this is nearly the same as the world title. Cody, Darby, Miro. And then after Miro lost it, then you had like the Sammy, Cody, Scorpio Sky bouncing between them that meant it felt like shit. Then you had Wardlow, Samoa Joe, Wardlow, Powerhouse Hobbs, Wardlow, Luchasaurus hotshot in it. Then Christian brought a lot back to the title, and then it felt really good again when Christian and then obviously in Cope as well. It was really good around that period. And then since it got vacated with Perry and Garcia, it just feels really inconsequential again compared to the international title now. So it's a funny old title because it's had some real highs, but some pretty grim lows as well.
It's because it's never defended. But then again, that neither is the world title at the moment, and that's that's not even shown on TV. So
weird. Anyway, shall we skip on to the penultimate? No, we've done the penultimate match, haven't we? We've got one match to go now, haven't we?
We have.
Yep, we got this time for the main event.
Great match. I'd say I'm probably on a par with their match. All In for me. I've really enjoyed it. The right winner, I think. I don't think anyone's going to complain with that. And I mean, again, I loved the small package finish to go along with what she's won every match since she returned with, and people moaning about the women's title change in the small package.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant, man. People moaning that she won with a surprise roll up. That's what people are saying. They're fucking stupid.
It's a small fucking package, yo.
I know it is, but that's what they're saying, man. She won with the roll
small
up.
package. What all these fucking whining, moaning marks have between their legs. All their bitching and moaning.
I come in ready to rant about this. To be fair.
Oh, but you know what? You know what that small package was, Mark? That's fucking in-ring storytelling. Dave LaGreca, you fucking loser, fucking nerd-ass Mark. Tell a fucking story in the ring. I've been paying attention the past month and a half. Like Andy said, she's been winning all of her matches with that small package. And guess what else beating Mariah with the small package does? It protects Mariah. It gives her an out for a rematch down the line. And if you're counting, it's 1-1 right now. Mariah won in front of her home fans. Now Tony has done the same thing. Now the third match, I think it has to be a stipulation match. It can't be a basic one-on-one match. So I've been contemplating a few ideas in my head, and I don't know. You guys, let me ask you guys this: Have we ever had an Iron Woman match before? Can you think of anyone off the top of your head?
Well, seeing as they only usually
Sasha did one in NXT.
Did they?
Oh, Sasha and Bailey, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's been almost a decade ago. So
we haven't had one in AEW because there's only been one match that's gone 20 minutes.
Yeah, or there's one, and also you can have a last woman standing match. I mean,
dog collar match. Go for a dog collar match.
Nah, not for ladies. I'd say you could go with a lights out match or a last woman standing match. Get fucking brutal. Like, if this is the act 3 is gonna be their final act between them, I'd say go last woman standing. Go all over around the arena. Just go fucking balls to the wall. And I'll call it right now. I think Mariah should go over in that match.
Yeah,
100%.
I feel like they really need to give Mariah a bit of a run that actually feels meaningful, because, like I say, the title run she's had since winning it, they really just took the foot off the gas and just half-assed it for her, and I feel like it's a bit shit, to be honest.
Yeah, that's why I say she needs to go over and give her a proper. It's your chance for a redo. in a
Yeah,
sense with her. But
and
I just feel for the longevity of each other's career, like, I think it'll benefit Mariah if she goes over whenever they
definitely,
have their third match. Yeah.
There's
definitely,
so
and
many matches that feel like they're going to have a stipulation at Revolution, and it feels that they deserve them. Like,
yeah.
just very quickly, can't think of any AEW pay per view that's had more than maybe. Do you reckon 3 matches with a stipulation? I think 3's the limit.
I was thinking about this when we were fancy booking it the other day, because like we were throwing stipulations out, and they never do that. Like, so it's like you say, there's probably going to be one. It's probably going to be the cage match, and that's it.
I do think that if Swerve Ricochet is on pay per view, that will have a stipulation, and I do think there could be 3. I think they'll probably go straight edged with Mox and Kobe. It will basically just be a hardcore match, and they'll just be let loose to do what they want. If my memory serves me right, Full Gear 2022 might have had a few. I'm going through it now. No, I've actually just made that up. Maybe 2023. I feel there was one pay per view that had like quite a few gimmick matches, and again, I'm a sucker for them. But again, it's all about getting the balance right. And so I think the Ricochet Swerve has to have one. I think if there's a rubber match between these two, that has to have one. And then you've got the cage match, and I think that probably suffices, doesn't it? 3.
Do you think that Revolution would be too soon to do the third match? I think personally,
I
it'll
think
be too
maybe,
soon.
you know what? I was thinking about that before when we were looking at the time. I think it probably is. I'd like to see this, given time to breathe a little bit. Give Tony time to showcase the championship a bit more and
Tony time.
Yeah,
the thing is, they're so intertwined now. How, because of what's happened between them, how do they go on separate paths to meet again whilst Mariah's just lost the title and Tony's won it off her? Like their stories too intertwined. I don't see how they can naturally go off. Like, what does Mariah do at the moment before coming back to Tony Storm? I don't know what would make sense for her to do now. I mean, look, this is Tony Storm's 4th world title reign. I think it could be a short one. I think Mariah could win it back at Revolution, just because that you've got to have the world title defended at Revolution, and nothing else in that time makes sense to me. You're really forcing the issue to have anything else in that time. Mina comes back.
But that was another one though. The Mina one was half-assed as well, wasn't it? When you think about it, because the amount of time they put into Mina, and then they threw the match together in about a week, and it was just they should have done so much more with that. I'd like to see them do more with it, but I don't know whether she just, is she done now with AEW? Because she was only over for a short while, wasn't she?
It's just like Ishii just turns up when the fuck he wants. Like, he's bored one week.
Maybe,
Tony, hey man, stick me on Ring of Honor this week. I don't mind. I fancy a match. But I think we can look ahead and say, what do we know for sure is happening? We've got the world title match. We know for definite. We know we've got Kenny Takeshita, and we know we've got Fletcher Ospreay. That's 3 guaranteed matches. 3 weeks. I don't think we're going to get anything completely out of the blue from here. I think every match is it's already been like curated to some extent. Again, Garcia, Adam Cole, bit underwhelming. That's going to happen, but it's going to. I don't know what's happening with the trios titles. But then I'm looking at the women and thinking, what's going to happen? What can we transition? That's why I think we have Megan Bain v Stat. There is a chance that Mercedes doesn't defend the TBS title. Maybe she just has a backstage segment, because I think she'll be present on the show because she's the biggest star. But that's why I think the easy thing is to turn around Tony Storm, Mariah May. Again, I'm with you, Andy. I would happily have no Megan Bain Stat, and I would have Megan Bain come out and be with Mariah May. I would be happy to do that. I think it gives Mariah May something to do with the world title, but going forwards. And I think that Tony Storm can then go off and do something else. I don't know what, but it's Tony Storm. She'll find a way to make it work because she's Tony Storm.
And how good would Mariah be? Just laughing, just taking the piss out of them all, sitting there,
it'd be great,
pissing herself, laughing while Megan Bain's beating the shit out of him, and she's just stood there with a championship. Yeah, because she's great at that. Like,
it makes sense. It makes sense, and it will be good TV. I just can't see. I don't see what else you can do in. Like, Mariah's going to want revenge. She's not just going to disappear. I don't see how I think we have an I Quit or a last woman standing match between those two. I would happily have an I Quit match between the two of them. No, last woman standing, because that means that then Megan Bain can just squash her, and that's how she wins the title back. And then Mariah, and then Tony can go off and do what she wants. She can I'll be down for a little Tony Storm Mercedes feud for the TBS title down the line. That would be a fucking great match.
Because I think we've said in the past, haven't we? We want to get. It's all right. It's all well and good saying, maybe next year we can look at this. injuries happen and things get in the way.
100%.
Sometimes you can't sit and wait for these things. I want to see the Jamie Hayter Mercedes dream match now, not waiting fucking 2 years just to. Yeah, it'd be great at Wembley, but the bottom line is she might get injured again, or 100%. Mercedes might get injured. So just do it however we do it, whether it's TBS or not. And the same, like you say there with Tony Storm. If you want to go with Tony Storm Mercedes, fucking get it built up and get it going now. I know we're waiting on the Athena thing, but like. Things happen, don't they? Things, as Buddy Matthews said on his tweet that he probably regrets posting because it was clearly him playing a bit of a fucking character and taking the piss a bit. Shit happens.
It does happen. Like, if someone says to me now, you're going to get over the next month, you're going to get a hater build for Mercedes, you're going to get that at Revolution. You're then going to get Tony Storm losing the title. Tony Storm's then going to transition into a feud with Mercedes, and that'll run through Dynasty and Double or Nothing. And then you're going to get All In. You're going to get Athena winning the TBS title off of Mercedes. I'm not complaining with that run for the next 5 months. Like people, they've shot. I don't care if they've done it too quickly. Mercedes will then be world champion. You can revisit these things down the line again. Like if someone says the next 4 pay-per-views for Mercedes are going to be Hater, then Storm again with a gimmick, and then Athena at All In. I'm over the moon with that.
Yeah, well, you could also as well. You think what would you do with Tony Storm if she loses? You could then revisit the Hater Tony Storm thing, because Hater did say when she came back she wanted to get revenge on everyone who was involved in her injury. Yeah,
I think Hater could probably do with a heel turn. If I'm being honest now, I wouldn't be against Hater being a heel. I think she's a good kick-ass heel. Like again, a Hater and Storm feud could run over a couple of months. Well, it doesn't need a title.
Yeah,
you can have a couple of their match at Full Gear 2022 was so underrated. It was the stiffest match I'd seen in AEW to that point.
It's fucking brilliant.
So good, such a good match. Honestly, an absolute beauty of a match. They really went for it. Those two, them two could have again. I'm all for pushing for more women's storylines that aren't involving titles. And Tony Storm and Hate again. It's the kind of thing you have a match on pay-per-view, screwy ending. They keep feuding, and then it goes into the next pay-per-view with a stipulation because we know how well the women do with the hardcore gimmick.
And then when you, as you say, if you've got storylines that aren't involving the titles, then that sets up the next contender for the titles, because that's where it's been lacking, really, is the fact that there's been no storylines that aren't involving the titles that have really meant anything and solidified someone as a genuine challenger for a title.
So I mean, that's what that I mean. I think I'd be very happy if the women's booking is Mariah May is going to win the title back in a gimmick match. She's got Megan Bain with her. She's then going to run through everyone for quite a while over the summer, because who's going to stop her? You've got Mercedes that can run through some dream matches for the TBS title before dropping it to Athena. Mercedes will then transition into the world title scene, I would say, almost immediately. You've got Tony Storm and Hater gimmick again. Hater wants to catch up, wants to get back at her. Hater can turn heel. Hater Storm can run as a separate feud. The winner of that feud eventually gets transitioned into a world title picture later at the end of the year. It all makes perfect sense to me. And it'll be good TV and really, really good matches.
Just reading here, have you seen this WWE are interested in signing a man like Doris?
Signing who?
Man like Doris.
Okay.
Shite. Fucking gutted if they do, but whatever. Hoovering up the indie talents.
Do you think?
I heard someone call him Shite R-Truth on Twitter. Fucking dickhead.
I've just seen that someone saying he's basically R-Truth. No, he's not. He's fucking brilliant. But yeah, whatever. Sorry about that. Just popped up there. But yeah, we expected that with the rumours that they're also looking at what's his name? Your favourite, Mike, Luke Jacobs. Yeah.
And Rio.
Yeah. It's just going to be the same as it was in 2019? Is when did it all go to shit?
2017.
2017, yeah.
That's just going to be it's a repeat of that under a different guise, isn't it? Essentially.
Yeah, and anyone that can't see what they're doing is pretty stupid. It's pretty obvious what they're doing. None of it is for the love of the game. It's obvious what they're doing, but nothing surprises me with that company and their very, very low set of moral compasses.
Anyway, before I threw that out there, we were talking about the card. One match that doesn't need a stipulation yet. MJF Hangman. We'll get more on Wednesday.
I can't wait for that.
I mean, we're going to get a stipulation down the line, but not yet. This will just be a great, solid. I think MJF has to win as well. He has to take the win.
MJF, for Hangman's character arc, again, he can take the defeats. Again, this is the next 3 pay-per-views probably sorted out. Definitely the next couple with them. It's going to be great.
And this was MJF essentially saying to him last week, wasn't it? You ain't got the stomach for this. You know, you think you're bad. You ain't got the stomach to do the kind of shit you'd have to do. And so this is going to, obviously, you would imagine, the way they're going, this is going to lead on to, is Hangman really going to go over the edge and do what he needs to? He'll probably ease off, because MJF alluded to the fact that he's been watching him and he can see that he's hesitated. You know, we go back to the Swerve the cage match when he stood on the ramp and he was like, he's like quivering lip. And we've seen other times when he's had that look of, oh fuck, what have I done? You know, we had the same when he went down and helped Christian, and then he was like, oh shit, what am I doing? And MGF's alluding to the fact that he doesn't, he's not got that kind of thing to push himself over the edge and to do what needs to be done. And so we're obviously going to get to a spot, I would imagine, where he needs to do that to MGF. He doesn't, he hesitates, and MGF takes advantage. And, is this going to be the redemption of Hangman now?
This promo battle on Dynamite is going to be fucking quality. I cannot wait for it. This has the old school feel of like when you knew that you were going to get some magic on the mic. This will bring the best out of MJF. It'll bring the best out of Hangman. Like, I've got such high expectations for like 12 minutes of these two in the ring sparring. Like, again, Eddie Kingston, Punk, like all the people that demolished Punk in promos, like Eddie, then MJF, and then Hangman, the 3 people that had him like picking up his ball and going home. It's going to be so good. There's so many layers they can peel off with this promo. It's going to be. I think MJF will come out well on top this week by design. And I think it'll be the best MJF we've seen for a while. I think this will be the first thing for him to get his teeth stuck into with real intensity for quite a while, when it's not being a bit more like purposely lowbrow, like what he's done with Jarrett, what he did probably with Garcia as well. This is a chance for him. This is 2 main event ex-world champions going at it. It's a fucking pissing contest. It's who's got the bigger cock out of the 2 of them here. They're going to have them flying out everywhere. It's going to be fucking great. I can't wait for it. It's going to be one of many matches of the night contenders at Revolution. But this I'm looking forward to as much as a match, I think, this week, because I think it's going to have a real. People want to talk about the feeling, blah blah. I hate saying it because it makes me cringe, but people talk about the feeling. This promo will be the feeling. It will be that kind of 2021 back and forth promo that became synonymous with AEW when WWE were in the doldrums.
100%. I can't wait. It's one of them things when you see the card pop, the match graphic pop up, and instantly you're like, I cannot wait. Is it Wednesday?
Yeah.
What's going on? What else is announced for Wednesday? I haven't actually looked.
Oh, we've got the Ops against the Patriarchy, which again I'm interested to see where this goes from here. So yeah, we got Ops. What do we think of the name of the Ops for Joe Hook?
It's awful, isn't it? It's terrible.
It's the kind of thing that I need to give it a couple of months, because the amount of times over the years I thought of names that I don't like this name shit, and then it becomes the norm after a while. So I'm happy to give it a little bit of time and see how it feels. But I don't know what happens here. I assume they win, because I think the Ops, as they are, I'm weird saying the Ops. I think they transition in. They've got to go after the Death Riders for the trios titles, I think. And so I imagine they'll win. I don't know where it goes from here, but it'd be interesting, I suppose.
Yeah, as the number 1 Ops stan, I fucking hate the name. Love the faction. 3 of my favourite wrestlers, as you all know. Fucking
the faction. The faction would be brilliant if Hook wasn't
it. I think this balance works. Like, it's all about Joe. Joe's just like, again, whatever it takes to keep Samoa Joe on my screen every single week. It works for me. I don't care what you're doing. Like, I just want to see Samoa Joe on my TV every week, because he's constantly such good bang for your buck every time he's around. He's fucking good.
He is. He's fucking brilliant. I totally agree. They can call it whatever they want, as long as we get Joe on TV. I'm happy.
Yeah, the match itself it'll be quite an interesting one. I'm sure there'll be some shenanigans. I'm sure it will open up something that we're not quite sure of, like where we're going to go now. I think there'll be some purpose to it. The other match that's announced will be a fucking banger. It's a street fight on Big Bill and Hobbs.
Oh yes, here we go.
That's going to be great.
I'm actually really excited to watch Ring of Honor after we finish this, because apparently Big Bill's reception was up there with Cardiff.
Oh, really? Oh, I love it.
Yeah, apparently it was up there with Cardiff. And also, I want to know, who were these masked men teaming up with Bandido? I've seen some two young, tanned, vascular masked guys walking the ropes.
Andy, I heard from rumors that those two masked guys who are teaming with Bandito, they pulled up to the shore of Brisbane in their bright neon colored jet skis, reportedly all the way from America. So I don't know. It sounds familiar, but we're gonna have to tune in tonight to Honor Club to check it out.
Where are the masks, Tony? Why are the masks not for sale? What's going on? You can make a fortune and buy one.
I can't believe they haven't got that puppet up for sale yet. That is mad. That's
that is what I agree with, definitely.
That's pissing 6 figures away. That would have, if they had sold them at Grand Slam, that would have sold out. They would have had hundreds of people in the crowd with them. They would sell so well. That's a really, again, like there's most things that I have a problem with AEW is nothing to do with what's on the screen, because I am always delighted with 90% of what I get on screen. It's the other decisions they make that just like heads that just leave me scratching my head that they've not capitalized on this. And yeah, just a bit of a head scratcher. But anyway, sorry, I've again, as usual, I've gone off on my own little tangent there.
I think that was me, mate. It was me, mate, with the Ring of Honor show. Sorry.
Yeah, if you and me did a podcast, we'd end up going from talking about Dynamite to talking about like pottery or something. But yeah, I've done. Yeah, on the street fight, I assume I think Hobbs wins this, and I think that I don't know. I'm interested to see where we go with Hobbs from here.
I think Hobbs may. I'd like to see Hobbs help Big Bill. I would when they turn on Big Bill. I don't know how you would do that, seeing as they will have beat the shit out of each other. But they're clearly going to turn on Big Bill. It's going to happen sooner rather than later. Whether Brian Keith,
I would quite happily. I would like to see Powerhouse Hobbs win this convincingly, and I would like to see Powerhouse Hobbs against Okada for the Continental title.
I wouldn't mind that at all. Yeah, they've got to have something to do with it. Again, it's the same as I said earlier when we were talking about what they do next with Harley, and I referenced the Action Andretti situation. It's all well and good giving them this moment, but unless you're going to push on with it now, it's the same with whatever they do with Big Bill is exactly the same. If Big Bill does get the shit beaten out of him by Jericho and Brian Keith, and they turn on him, and we get a face Big Bill, they've got to have something ready to go with him, because otherwise it just cools down too much. And I don't want to see that happen to Hobbs, because that happened to Hobbs last time.
Yeah.
Maybe TNT, give Hobbs the TNT title and actually make it mean something this time, because last time with Wardlow it wasn't it. But I feel like if Hobbs had the TNT title and he was destroying people, it could be good fun. But then again, he's a face, so you'd have to be destroying scumbags every week. I don't know how you get around that. They need to do something with him anyway. I don't know. International title would be good, but he's going to lose, isn't he? The Continental, sorry, but he's going to lose. I'd like to see
don't know,
something.
a card like how many times has the card been pinned in AEW?
Has he ever?
I'm sure he has.
Bryan Danielson, he beat him, didn't he?
That was before he was even on contract as well, wasn't it? To be perfectly honest.
No. I mean, he beat him after 20 minutes, didn't he?
All right. Fletcher beat Okada. Garcia beat Okada. Oh no, Garcia drew with him. Fletcher beat him.
Fucking hell.
So he can. Okada can take a defeat to Hobbs.
Do you know what? That'd be a way of getting rid of the belt then, if you don't want the belt involved in the Kenny Omega match.
And then Hobbs can do then fuck that. Like the TNT title does what it does. The international title's on Omega. Then Powerhouse Hobbs can make the Continental title. If that's ever going to mean anything, which it probably shouldn't, but if it's going to, then that's where Hobbs can have an open challenge with it, and he can start just running through people, because a lot of people he can have fun matches with, people he's going to beat each week, but he can come out and then eventually. You can have Hobbs v Lashley for the Continental title down the line, big beefy boys. You can have Hobbs v Beast Mortis for the title one week. Hobbs v Hologram. You can have a bit of fun with it, and it's not that deep a title, but at least it can be on TV. He can open challenge every Saturday on Collision.
Listen, if Hobbs were to win the title, like if he's gonna have open challenges, it's only big beefy invitational. Only the big boys.
Beefy boys.
Yeah, just him and Lance Archer, him and Brian Cage, him and Bobby Lashley. I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, but we'll see, man. Let's get to Wednesday first, and then we'll go from there.
I just want to see. I don't want to see Hobbs just I really like this little feud with Bill. It's been really fun. It's elevated Hobbs. Bill's not going to look bad in defeat. It's going to play into him eventually turning on Jericho and then getting that hero's reception. And then Hobbs, I don't know, there's just do something with him. I don't want to see him disappear because he's been really enjoyable since he came back from injury. Like he's someone I now want to see on TV every week. Like there's so many people like this now. It's hard to please everyone because 4 hours is not enough for AW's roster each week, to be perfectly honest.
I totally agree. They have to do something with him, but there has been. If there's one criticism that's been valid in the past of Tony, it's that he has let people cool down and not pushed at the right time. They need to do something with him. I think that's a good idea. Actually, the Continental title.
And he can just surprise. A card can be taken by surprise. A card is quite cocksure going into his matches. He's caught off guard. He's calling Hobbs a bitch, but Hobbs just fucks him up. It's a bit of a because I think Okada needs to get a bit more serious before he fights Omega anyway. I think he'll want to, so that could be the wake up call.
Definitely, because we want the older card.
Yeah, that's what we'll get. But it's going to take him losing a match to humble him, I think, and then that could be it would work for me. So I'd be down for that. I think it'd be great fun. It could be a 12-13 minute match. Hobbs picks up the win. Okada's a bit stunned by it. Hobbs can then go on and try and elevate, see if they can make something of the Continental title, have it on Collision most weeks with open challenges. I'm down for that. But yeah, if Tony Khan listens to this, the product would be so fucking good. Jesus.
If he listened to it, the Outrunners would have been champions by now. On an
World
unbeaten
champion,
run.
tag champions, champions, trios champions. Turbo Floyd would be dripping in gold.
They would have. They would have been.
In a way, it's kind of a good thing he doesn't listen because listen, I'm enjoying the Hurt Syndicate with the tag titles right now.
I'm loving them.
I'd still have the Outrunners beat them, to be honest, but that's just me. Well, it's not just me; it's all of us.
I think we'll get FTR and the Hurt Syndicate at Revolution as well. I think the wheels will move on that this week, and I think we'll get that, and then I think that will be the start of FTR's heel turn.
I don't know if it's just because they didn't travel, but I do like the fact that they haven't made the save for Cope because it just gives me a little bit of hope that they might actually turn, even though I don't think it's happening anytime soon. Yes, it's exciting stuff this week anyway. Yeah, I really can't wait. But yeah, like I say, I'm going to watch Ring of Honor later on and look forward to Dynamite. We have a few questions anyway from the Discord. I put this in late, so we only got a couple. Sorry about that. I'll ask you earlier next time. But the first one from BTOD95, a fellow Red, is in response to the discourse around the women's division today. Where would you rank the women in sort of tiers by ring ability alone? Because they clearly don't get enough chances to build a character on TV, which is right. We've been through that.
We're ranking the AEW women's roster
by tiers.
It's a segment, lad. That's not a question.
It is. That's a full one, but.
Well, I mean, I've done this kind of stuff. I'm like, right, the main event scene, like the top. If there's a top tier, upper mid, and a mid card, let's not demean and go lower than that.
Okay. Yeah.
So then, I mean, the upper tier. Then you've got Mariah, Tony, Mercedes, Statlander, maybe
Willow.
them. I think Willow belongs on the. My personal opinion, I think her and Jamie Hayter are there, the upper mid carders. I think because they're just where their position has been in recent times. I think I don't know. I'm quite stingy with this. I don't like to have too many people at the top. I think there's like a simmering underline with where you have Willow, where you have Jamie Hayter, and then maybe that's where you have Thunder Rosa as well. Because I mean, she hasn't done much for a while now, but she's still an ex women's champion. I don't know. And then it's all mid carders really after that.
Yeah, I'd see. I'd have Hayter and Willow in the top tier, but maybe I visualize it as a bigger bracket. A bigger tier.
A bigger pool. You're right. It should be. It's just. I definitely did, but it's just I haven't since she returned. Before that, number one.
It's hard because the mid card title essentially is a world title level. So it's hard because Mercedes is not mid card title level. She's world title level, but she's holding that mid card title. So that kind of muddies the water when you're talking about these,
But I do think that the six in line for me personally are a level above the rest. Megan Bain again, it's too small a sample size. Athena jumps straight in there when she comes up inevitably, and then you've got the next line down, which is probably again to varying degrees what you think of this. You've got Anna Jay, you've got Diona, you've got probably Thunder Rosa who props that up. Harley Cameron's now entering the other side of that. Julia Hart's around there. You'd be remiss to not say Sky Blue because she was on TV every single week before the injury. I don't know what you class Marina Shafir as. Penelope Ford's making moves. Aminata, again, another defines the mid card at the moment. So yeah, there is a big gap between the main players. I think the only one that bridges the mid card to the top card maybe is Thunder Rosa. There seems to be quite a distinct level between them. Otherwise, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think, but based on recent matches and based on the last year or so, I'd have Thunder Rosa in that next bracket, to be honest. But at the top of it, so I suppose bridging it's probably the right way to put it. Look, that's a full segment. We could talk about that another time. Yeah, so we got another one anyway. We'll look at that in the future. We got one from Slug, and it's not really a question, is it? He's just having him whinge. Not like him. Is the Australians going 1-4 at home proof that Tony Khan doesn't deserve Book of the Year award? No, it's not.
On to the next question. That's just stupid. Who cares about where someone's from? What kind of in terms of that? The fact of the matter is that we had a 5-match card, and how many heels won and how many faces won. That's the way you look at it. So you had face, heel, face. So you had 2 faces, 3 heels, 1 and a 5-match card. So it's split as near as it can be with 5 matches. No, of course not. Every single person who was, again, he's also therefore classing Jay White as being from Australia when he's not. He's from New Zealand. They don't really like each other. So
I will clarify that he's clearly taking the piss because he's Australian.
Right, okay, I'm humble now.
Yeah. Don't go into that. And the last one here from Gav, he said, "I'm not sure if you started, but what do you think about a man like Dollarydoos going to WWE?" We've already spoke on this. I'd be a bit gutted. I don't begrudge any of these guys making the money and going for the big contract. It's probably his dream to wrestle in WWE. The age he is and stuff. Just for me as a fan, I would be gutted because I don't think I would get to see him do the kind of stuff I get to see him do now. Well, I know I wouldn't. So yeah, from my point of view, I'd be a bit gutted. But for him, yeah, made up for him. I just hope it works out because we know there's a history of them not really keeping the promises, not being. I don't know what the word would be, but basically, yeah, not having the intentions that they claim to have.
Same as Andy. I'd be devastated, but get the back, brother.
He's fucking brilliant. It's just they're going after them all. Though now, Andy, like I say, that's a topic for another day. I think you mentioned that earlier, Brett, didn't you? About this, it's basically they're going to be hoovering up a lot of talent, especially when you see the likes of Leon Slater and Downey Luna in TNA. It's almost like a gateway for them now to do it on the sly. Which, like I say, you don't begrudge any of these wrestlers. They deserve everything they can get. They work their asses off and they're extremely talented. But as a fan, just selfishly, a little bit disappointing. Speaking of man like Dollarydoos, he was at the Progress show there on Friday that I went to, and it was fantastic. Yeah, so the Progress events, it was fantastic. I went down there. My missus got me tickets for Valentine's Day. It was a nice surprise. It was at the For Love of Wrestling event at Bowlers in Manchester. And if you listened a few weeks ago, we had James on from the event who was, he kind of ran over everything they had. So I kind of had an idea of what to expect. They didn't give us any free tickets, which I was very disappointed about, but never mind. The venue was quite cool. Nice open area, decent bar and all that, the usual stuff. We were seated 1 row back. And yeah, it looked great. I don't know what it looked like on TV. I haven't had a chance to watch it back yet. But the only issue I did have with it was they had the TV screens or lights or whatever they were. They were essentially screens displaying the Progress logo, but it was lights. It seemed very low to me. There's a few times when wrestlers went up to do a move off the ropes, and they were a little bit hesitant, looking up just to see whether they were going to catch it. So it was a little bit ropey. Could have moved them, but besides that, good luck. Show looks great to start off with. The first match we had was the Young Guns against Subculture. Fantastic way to open the show. Luke Jacobs is fucking brilliant, isn't he? He's one of Mike's favourites, I know that. And he's destined for big things. They all are, to be honest. They're all great. Mandrews and Webster controlled most of the match for the start. Then the Young Guns got on top. A bit of a fight back. And then the Young Guns finished off. Doomsday Device, Pile Driver. It was brilliant. And a bit of a beat down. there was a moment when, because I know Luke Jacobs is facing Ethan Allen at Burning Heart, Ethan Allen walked in front of Luke Jacobs while he had the belt, and I was like, is he going to fucking hit with this? But he didn't. So yeah, champion Luke Jacobs and Ethan Allen took that one. And yeah, that was it. It was a really good match, and they never disappointed any of them guys. I think it was around 10 minutes, but I'm not sure. But it was decent. Then the second match, we had Holly Barlow against Lana Austin. It's the first time I've seen Holly Barlow. I know she's on at the TNT show in March, and she was good, but like, it's hard to give anyone to talk about anybody else much when it's a Lana Austin match. She's a national treasure. She's brilliant. She was giving the crowd stick all the way through. We had dueling chants from one set of fans for Holly, and then one set of fans for Lana. So the atmosphere was on fire at that point. Match wasn't overly long, but it was decent. It was a great first outing for Holly, for me, from what I've seen. And the two of them worked really well together, and it'd be interesting to see where they go. They might actually both be in that TNT match in March, which would be interesting. The level up match. Not sure. Off the top of my head, I think they are. Then we had Lycos Gym against Nico Angelo and Connor Mills tornado match. It was great. Lycos Gym are fantastic. Dale, if you're listening, you know the score. These are your favourites. It was what you would expect it to be. Yes, it was a double DQ, which is a bit weird at the end. I thought they were going to, like, the crowd were chanting for them to keep fighting, and I thought they were, but yeah, they didn't in the end. And Nico and Mills went down the ramp. Lycos Jim stayed in the ring, shouting shite at them. And yeah, it was good. It was entertaining. It wasn't the best match I've seen any of them have, but it was good. They did a job. Then we had Nina Samuels against Emerson Jane. Nina Samuels is a fantastic heel, as everyone who's seen her knows. My missus said that she reminds her of a classic Disney villain, because she gets the facial expressions so spot on with that smug look and flaring her nostrils up and everything. It's fantastic. It was a good match. Emerson's brilliant. Another one that I can't wait to see at TNT against Drew Parker. It was a good match. Again, nothing amazing this one. I've seen both of them have better matches, but it was a good match. And it was more the most interesting part about this was the post match when Kanji turned up, ran to the ring, and backed up Emerson and set up the obvious, Kanji Nina match that we're going to get at some point. We had the intermission then, so I went and got a drink and some food. Food was all right. It was what did I get? I think I got a hot dog. Can't remember. Anyway, then we had one of the matches I was really looking forward to, one called Manders against Tate Mayfairs. Tate Mayfairs is one of my favourites. He most of the time plays a shit-eating heel, a real slimy's arse, but like a classic heel. Anyway, heel tactics all the way, but it was clean. He won this clean. It was brilliant. Some great wrestling, really good technical wrestling in there as well, and he made Manders tap out. It was fucking brilliant. And this was a match where I feel like I possibly owe Tate Mayfairs an apology, because I did go for a pint just before this match, and Luke Jacobs was at the bar, and as I was at the front, I looked over, I was like, "Oh mate, match was great before, do you want a pint?" He says, "Yeah, I'll have a Magnus please, mate." And I was like, "Yeah, no worries." So I bought my Magnus, and then I went back to my seat, and then after this match he came down and beat the shit out of Tate Mayfairs with a chair. Now I don't know if that was because of the extra bit of alcohol that I'd supplied him with, or whether he was going to do that anyway. I would suspect he was going to do it anyway, but if that extra pint of Magnus did contribute to it, I do apologise, Tate. I'm a big fan. I'm sorry, but I don't think it was my fault. I think he was going to do it anyway because he's a prick. Man like the Richard Holiday, good match here. Holiday got some great. I can't even talk. Some great heat here. He was really giving it to the crowd. He was he got a massive solid wanker chant going all the way through, and he was going back and forth. The Reese is excellent. He plays the crowd perfectly. The man's so full of energy. I really hope the WWE rumours are true. Oh, not true selfishly, but if they are true, fucking well, good on the lad. I hope he goes and kills it, and I hope they really do fucking invest in him, because he's got everything. It was a good match. The Reese, like, he was injured at one point, which got me a little bit worried. He looked like he had an issue with his knee. I hope he's all right, because, like I say, I'm a huge fan. And Yeah, he hit a powerbomb, got the win. It was great. You know, it was again nothing amazing, but decent match. You know, there was no matches in this that were amazing. I've seen everyone have better matches. It was just a solid show. And the main event was my favourite. Simon Miller against Charles Crowley for the Pro Tours title. Simon had obviously done his poll before the match, as he does, to see what the stipulation's going to be, and it was a WWE finish only match. This was so much fun. It was, someone started chanting "Goofy Wrestling for Life." I'm 100% on board with that. It was excellent. It wasn't overly comedy. It was just the right kind of silly. It starts off. Simon pulls out a sock, and then he's told by the referee, "That's not a finisher, mate." So that was a bit upset. Crowley started to do a bit of a stutter, stamping his feet, bang, hits a sweet chin music, and then hits a pedigree. Miller tried for a rock bottom, a stunner. It was brilliant. It was literally that back and forth, just WWE finish after WWE finisher. I fully expected at one point for Miller to just win in the end with a leg drop. I thought they're going to exhaust all the big finishes, but now he hits a spear, hits a jackhammer. Crowd said up, the crowd said down. Miller gets the win. Crowd were buzzing. A fantastic end to the show, and a great way to be, a great way to send the crowd home happy. And yeah, Miller did his rounds, seeing everybody. Gave me a slap on the head. We said, "Baldies are the best," and off we went. It was a good show. I think Nina against Emerson was probably the one that exceeded my expectations the most. The tornado tag was fun. The finish was a bit shit, but the match was fun itself. The main event was excellent. That probably exceeded my expectations more than anything, because I was so into it, and the crowd were just really eating it up. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters, isn't it? You know, wrestling, it's just about having fun. I keep saying him, but yeah, it was great. And British wrestling is fantastic. It's on fire, and I'm hoping to go next week to the next Progress event, because we have Tate Mayfair's against Luke Jacobs. I cannot wait for that match. That's going to be a brilliant. And Simon has announced that he's wrestling Will Cruz, and he did put out the stipulations. Actually, I think one is a move off the top ropes, and the other was a body slam challenge. You can only win if you body slam your opponents. I'd like to see the off the top rope one, but who knows? I don't care. I'm sure it'd be brilliant. Simon Miller's brilliant. He's a national treasure. Great event, and that's that. So that's it from us. After a fantastic week of wrestling, we've had AEW delivering big time. Ring of Honor kept things going, and I can't wait to watch the show tonight. Brit Rest is absolutely on fire right now. Some amazing things coming out of it. But next week's even better for us personally, because we've got Preston Vance joining us on the podcast. This is huge for us. When we originally started this, all we wanted to do was bring some positivity to wrestling, a little bit different from the things that are already out there, a lot of grifters. And we just wanted to talk about the things that we love and enjoy, and put a positive light on things. If you told us then that we'd actually have an AEW or Ring of Honor star coming on the show, it would have basically just been a pipe dream, really. But now it's actually happening. We're really excited. We can't wait for this one, and we want to get you involved as much as we can. The support you guys are giving us has been phenomenal. So we're going to open a thread for questions, but this time if you can keep them specific to things you would like to ask Preston. We'll ask him the best ones. We can't ask him everything, obviously, and there's some things we probably wouldn't want to ask him, because some people are dickheads and they'll probably ask us some stupid things. But we'll open that on Discord and the socials. If you got anything you want to ask him, drop it in there. And as always, thanks for listening. The support's phenomenal. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your pets. I tell my dog all the time, and my cats as well. Tell your pub landlords, tell your postman, milkman, if they even still exist. And yeah, we'll see you next week. Really appreciate it. Thanks so much. Bye.